Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking about sustainable diet. My name is Florence Hill, and my co-presenters, Vamsi and Pratik, will be presenting right after me. So before we get into the discussion, please keep in mind our discussion question as it pertains to sustainability. What are the impacts of GMO on biodiversity and the environment? So what are sustainable diets? Sustainable diets are those, can you go to the next slide? Sustainable diets are healthy dietary patterns that promote individual health and well-being and simultaneously has a low environmental impact. Next slide. So again, sustainable diets are accessible, affordable, safe, and equitable, and they are also culturally accepted. More on sustainable diets is they do address some of the world's challenges that pertain to food, which includes reducing poverty and hunger, improving environmental health, enhancing overall human well-being and health, as well as strengthening local food networks, sustainable livelihoods, and cultural heritage. Next slide, please. So what is the big deal? Why are we talking about sustainable diets? Because eco-anxiety is high, and for good reason. Industrialized food production systems are on the rise, which are causing a lot of pollution, which in turn are major contributors to climate change and biodiversity loss. The planet is warming up more quickly than we previously thought, and it's estimated that by the year 2040, globally we'll be experiencing extreme weather in terms of drought and flood. And obviously the extreme weather has its devastating impacts on homes and farms globally. And this UN preview only shows a future that's getting worse. So why sustainable diets? Again, as we have seen, industrialized food production systems are major contributors of pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss, as they continually require the clearing of wild lands for agriculture, urban development, etc., which reduces our impact or our chance to implement effective solutions to climate change and species extinction. Again, the harvesting crops that comes with industrialized food production systems require significant amounts of nutrients, water, and energy from these lands, and therefore leaving these lands barren and unfriendly for growth and development when it comes to new organisms and ecosystems. Degraded ecosystems, therefore, become far less effective in storing and sequestering carbon dioxide, which is a crucial component to the climate catastrophe that we're facing. Next slide. So again, if you eat at home or eat out, you have a footprint, which is the result of everything it takes for your food to get from the farm to your plate. And these processes are invisible to consumers. And again, we've seen how industrialized food production affects the environment. So therefore, we must partake in sustainable food practices because they ensure that your business or your home has a low environmental impact, therefore avoiding damaging or wasting any natural resources and contributing very little to climate change. And as we'll talk about, often meat is more of a contributor than plant-based food. Next slide. So food production, a fun fact or, a real fact is there is no single human activity that has a bigger impact on the planet than raising livestock, again, for this industrialized food production, which includes meat, milk, and eggs. And it contributes to 40% of the global agricultural GDP, and again uses at least 1/3 of the world's fresh water. How cows and other farm animals produce 14% of human-induced climate emissions, which mostly is methane from their burps and manure. And this has a very big impact when it comes to climate change, because methane breaks down relatively quickly in the atmosphere, but it's more potent than carbon dioxide. So the more we're raising these livestock, the more gases we have. And as you can see, the meat versus plant-based foods, there's a staggering difference when it comes to the production versus the emission of plant-based foods versus the meat-based foods. Next slide. So to help combat this problem, we need to look at sustainable food production, which harnesses the power of plants and fungi to reduce the demand for meat and therefore protect forests and restore the wild that is lost. So therefore, we should eat more plant-based foods instead of meat-based foods. And again, we must look at sustainable food choices because they ensure that biodiversity is sustained, as it focuses on more of a smaller scale, and it grows a variety of fruits and vegetables for the consumers, which in turn protects the biodiversity of the land and the soil. And again, it helps for good employment and supports the community. And now, Pratik will be taking over.
Thanks, Florence. So now we're going to discuss about the sustainability of eating at home. Making food at home not only allows you to source sustainable ingredients, waste less food, and use less energy, but a home-cooked meal especially is rich in plants, means less impact on environment. For sustainable eating, we should work towards centering our meals around plant-based foods, minimize the consumption of farm-raised fish, meat, and dairy. Well, surprisingly, when you eat at home, you eat fewer calories, and you are also mindful of what you are putting in your body. Also, you can socialize with the loved ones. So, is cooking at home better for the environment? Let's look at it. Cooking at home takes less energy. When you cook at home, you can opt into purchase fresh, locally grown produces. You can also buy things like rice, lentils, beans, and other dry items in zero waste bulk from the grocery stores. Depending on the location, many restaurants still use many single-use items for serving, like straw, plastic, napkins, plates, take-home containers, and utensils. When you cook your meal at home, you can buy and use only what you need for cooking, which are mostly reusable, which all avoids all this extra food waste. Eating at home by cooking your own meal means you have control over the ingredients that you want to put in. You make informed decision about where to buy each ingredient you bring in home based on your food preferences and values. Next slide. So, eating on the go. Eating healthy and consciously brings health and well-being, but we should also commit to sustainability. While the world wastes about 1.4 billion tons of food every year, the United States discards more food than any other country in the world, nearly 40 million tons. In today's world, everyone is busy and not everyone has time to spend a lot of hours in the kitchen. Instead, a lot of us may just want to eat on the go. Healthy eating while you are away from home can pose unique challenges. People have excuses of eating fast food, saying it's quick, easy to get and taste better. You can like bring home healthy protein bars, shop some fruits, dry fruits, and just prepare you some time to make those as a lunch box. Next slide. So looking at this picture is just a comparison between whenever you are eating on the go outside of salad versus sandwich. So this picture clearly identify or clearly explains you that eating salad is much more healthy than eating sandwich. Next slide.
Thanks, Pratik. My name is Vansi Krishna. I'll be discussing about the benefits of cooking at home. Here we have the components of a shop local, waste reduction, ingredient control, and quantity control, not complicated and time saving. So coming to the shop local, cooking at home encourages the purchase of fresh, locally grown produces. This helps minimize your footprint as well as the carbon footprint associated with the food transport and supports the local economy. So coming to the waste reduction, cooking at home allows for the reusability of utensils, which again reduces the carbon footprint of having disposable utensils manufactured. So ingredient control is healthier food choices are encouraged as one dictates which goes in their food. This can mean eating in season foods that are locally grown, minimizing your footprint and carbon footprint. So coming to the quantity control, most restaurants serve portions that are 2 or 3 times larger than the recommended dietary guidelines. So the complicated replacing processed food with in-season foods that are ready to consume in their natural state or with quick and easy preparation. So coming to the time saving, quick meals at home save money and time otherwise spent dining out. So here we'll be discussing about the tips for eating sustainability when getting takeout or delivery. So firstly, bring your own straw or say no to the straws. And bring your own coffee cup. Say no to plastic bags and decline plastic silverware and extra napkins. Consider bringing your own reusable container and asking if they will use it. Say no to extra condiments and keep big bottles in your refrigerator. So here we'll be discussing about the tips for eating sustainability at a restaurant. So firstly, choose restaurants who have committed to sustainability. Say no to the buffet. Splitting meals if portions are large and dining with a partner. Take home leftovers or get a doggy bag. Bring your own reusable container. Eat what in a season. Consume less and waste less. Consume more plant diets. So here we'll be discussing about the sustainable model of the sustainable diet. So this model is developed based on the plant diet with the people's and sustainability. This promotes a proper diet by which every individual can stay sustainable with their income while enjoying the meals. Here we have the variables which are component to the food income allocation and the meat consumption, meat price, vegetable consumption, and vegetable diet and vegetable price. So in this model, we have one compartment with several variables which are acting as the factors for this model. The inflow in the deposit which has the food income allocation as the inward variable, while food consumption is the outflow from the food budget where it has the meat and vegetables as the major variables accounting for the food consumption. So by the conclusion, the conscious about the budget and eating healthy food will be the main purpose of the sustainable diet. So these are the equations listing for the compartment of the food budget, which is the equation which comes under the deposit, food consumption, and food income allocation, and the meat consumption, the meat diet. So these are the web references which we can refer to the source of the sustainable diet, which are away from the home care and makes it easier, healthy, professional, encouraged with their lifestyles. So coming to the website, Hello, Florence.
Yes, are you going to
Can
click
you
on
please
the
share your
website?
screen and explain what is
Okay.
Can you please
So
share the screen and
can you enable the host?
here, 1 minute.
All right. So, so please feel free to visit our website for more information on sustainable diet, how to be sustainable at home, how to be sustainable on the go. There's more on the model simulation and results, as well as the educational resources where you can educate yourself a little bit more on sustainable diets and how to be sustainable. And with that, thank you, and I hope you will change your dietary patterns to be sustainable.
Thank you.
Thank you.